Hi, I'm Dave Eyrick, and you're invited to join me out here on the rocks.
Woo! Working all week for a paycheck. By Friday, I'm ready to scream. I hate all this hustle and bustle, man. You know I really hate this scene. So I get off on the rocks. Yeah, yeah. Off on the rocks. Oh, baby, I get off on the rocks. Woo! Off on the rocks.
You're about to meet a group we like to call the Dirty 30. Because, well, there's 30, and in this sport, they love getting dirty. Today, we get to see the four-wheeling side of Cookie and learn a little bit more about the rebel, James Taylor. We'll also teach you a four-wheeling skill every off-roader needs to know. We'll even show you how to transform your next cookout into a banquet fit for a king. All this while we crawl up one of the most rugged, breathtaking trails in the West. Now, rough riding on these back roads wouldn't be complete without a trail boss, and ours is none other than Rick Russell, a four-wheeling legend for over 30 years.
Woo!
Welcome to On the Rocks TV. Today we're in Randsburg, California, where we're going to be exploring the Jawbone Trail system. The Jawbone Trail system winds through several historic mining areas and even a living ghost town. And although these trails are fairly mild, you can't beat the scenery. Meet a guy who thinks a mine is a terrible thing to waste.
Hey, my name is Jim Taylor. I drive a 2001 PJ. I've been doing this for, something like 35, 38 years. I've got a 6-inch full traction suspension lift on it. I run 35-inch Goodyear tires. I run ARB lockers front and rear. I run a set of 410 gears where I can drive it on the trail and on the highway and not be too stressed out. I belong to the California Association of Four-Wheel Drive Clubs. I belong to Corva, and this is my hobby, getting out and four-wheeling and going to interesting places and going on trails that present a challenge, something that you really want to get out and have fun with, go out with a lot of other people. I've been in California for, 30, 40 years now. I was originally born in New Orleans, Louisiana, so I'm a rebel at heart. So four-wheeling is something I just kind of took naturally to. We have really enjoyed it. It's something that my whole family has done ever since my kids were born. And even now that they're grown up, they go out and four-wheel in their toys, and sometimes they go along with me.
Give us your name and your number.
I went to the casting for the Dirty 30.
Have you ever met this guy before that you're helping?
Yeah, about an hour ago.
Wound up meeting a lot of guys I knew, Snoopy and some of the guys that I've known in some of the different clubs.
Hey, everybody that off-roads is a friend.
So this was a good way to get out and get with a bunch of people that really have the same interest at heart. Go out and four-wheel and have a good time. And I think that this On the Rocks TV program is something that's really going to get the message out to people that four-wheelers are not a bunch of people that tear up things. They just like to go out and have fun and keep the lands open and keep the trails open. So we've had quite of a weekend this weekend. We visited Panama Valley and Manson Ranch and Gold Wash, and now we're at Randsburg and looking at their trail system here that Corva's opening up. So we've been having a full weekend, had a real good time.
Every four-wheel vehicle comes with a grill, but for this 30-30 member, one grill just isn't enough.
Well, my name is Brad Lark, and my hungry friends know me as Cookie. But I've been a long-time four-wheeler. Ever since I was a kid, had the desire and the drive to go out and go four-wheeling. Even when I was a kid, I had pictures of Jeeps on my bedroom wall that I had taken just in the neighborhood. It was like a dream to go Jeeping. I had all kinds of different vehicles, Jeeps, Broncos, Blazers. I've had my 97 Jeep Wrangler for about 10 years now. It's got a lot of primarily Curry components on it, and it's just a fabulous Jeep. I just point it any direction it goes. It's got high pinion, heavy-duty axles front and rear, Eaton electric lockers. It's just a fabulous Jeep, and it's really unstoppable. You can just drive it upside down, and that's the problem. You don't want to do that. I have 4 children. I have 3 girls and a boy, and My son, he's been Jeeping since he was in diapers. He doesn't even know that most kids don't grow up in the passenger seat of a four-wheel drive vehicle. It's a real family sport. You end up hanging out with your kids, hanging out with your family, and spending that quality time together that sometimes is very elusive in the day-to-day grind at home. So it's, we load up the kids and everyone, load up all the gear on a Friday night and hit the road and drive for a couple hours to get to a good spot, and then we're camping and we're cooking and we're barbecuing, and it's just, that's what Jeeping is to me, and that's why I guess I'm drawn to it. You talk about four-wheeling, you talk about why we love it so much and why we want to keep the trails open and why can't you just stay at home and be with your family? It's just a different zone. Beautiful weather. There's nothing like looking at a sunset like this we're having behind us. It's a great sunset. We've got the blue skies and the little bit of the wind blowing through. It's a little chilly. We've got the jackets on, but it's nature, and it's so different than what we have at home every day. People that haven't experienced it and don't know about it, they can't know about it until they do it. They get in a four-wheel drive vehicle and go drive down a nice dirt road and just realize, man, this is kind of fun. It's a little bumpy and a little, you bounce around a little bit, but it's just a great thing to do. Did you see that butterfly? I think he got in front of me.
Coming up next.
We are down to the bare bones trails that we can actually afford to lose. Our riding areas are now being challenged again.
Right here on The Rocks. Welcome back to On the Rocks TV. Today we're in Randsburg, California, where we struck gold and hooked up with Ed Waldheim of Corva, which stands for
California Off-Road Vehicle Association. California Off-Road Vehicle Association was a spin-off of the California Association Four-Wheel Drive Clubs. Families come out and they have rails, motorcycles, quads, and three-wheelers at that time. So 40 years ago, they spun off, and Bob Ham and Dave Schwager and other leaders, they created California Off-Road Vehicle Association so all the families could bring their toys in. So we represent all forms of recreation.
So Ed, what do you do out here?
We come out here as volunteers for the Bureau of Land Management of the Ridgecrest Field Office, and we've been signing all the trails that are designated open for the public to use.
So you go around and you put signs up?
We put plastic signs up there, and we put all the decals on it, and everyone has a number. And our map, our friends at Jawbone Map, has a number for each one of the trails on the map, and they correspond on the ground.
2 minutes ago, no sign. Now, sign.
This is the only place that we know of in the United States where 100% of the trails on the ground are on the map.
We met Ed Waldheim here in Randsburg, and he is the lifeblood of Corva. He's been around for so long.
I noticed your hat. What is it? How'd you get that hat? What's that say? What's that for?
It's a Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame.
He's been nominated and accepted into the Off-Road Hall of Fame. He's been accepted into the American Motorcycle Association, their Hall of Fame.
Do you think that a lot of these associations are inducting you because you look like Hugh Hefner?
No, not like Hugh Hefner, but some told me I looked like Sonny Bono when I had my mustache.
He's a guy that gets things done. He likes to keep our trails open. He fights for them. He volunteers his time.
We are down to the bare bones of the minimum of recreation trails that we can actually afford to lose. The challenge we have now is that our open areas, our riding areas, are now being challenged again. Biggest challenge is the education of the riders. The riders have to understand you must stay on the trail. I don't care if you're in the Foresters, if you're in the BLM. That's the way the United States is going. On the trail use only, unless the area is designated as open, and there's precious few of those. By the end of 2008, they're going to have everything designated, and you better go to the district office, Forest Service, or the BLM, and get a map and find out where you can go, where you cannot go. The agencies now feel they are not compelled to sign the trails. They feel that they have done enough by just giving you the map, and it's your job to figure out where to go legally, where not to go. It's mind-boggling. The Friends of Jawbone and Corva, we're way ahead of them because we have been doing the signing. Bureau Land Manager has doing signing too. They got to give them credit too. We haven't done it all by ourselves. We go get grants. We buy $30,000 worth of signing to put out there. We buy tractors. We rent tractors. We do trail maintenance. You name it. There's nothing that we do not do out here to maintain our trails open. Absolutely nothing.
He's a man of infinite energy. I mean, he was out there today running around on these trails like a 30-year-old, and the man is 70.
Coming up next, Rick, I am your father. Who's your daddy, Rick? We followed the Dirty 30 through some of the baddest ball-bearing, busting back roads in the West. So who would expect these relatively relaxing routes to wreck Rick's rig?
Where's broken, Rick?
Let me show you on the other side.
What'd you do?
Well, it's deferred kind of deal. You know, you continue to twist it, and then finally one time it lets loose. That's really all it is. Yeah, let me show you. You can see it. See on the top of the axle right there?
Oh, yeah.
This plate is supposed to be flat, so the spring's flat on it. And you see how it's sloped?
Oh, my gosh. Now, we're about 10 miles from the closest paved road. Rick's choices are to break out his onboard welder, abandon his vehicle, or wait for AAA.
We could still tack weld it, probably, around here, and it won't be in the correct position, but we could probably drive it home that way. I think we have to work a little harder at trying to get it straight.
You know, I could never crawl into my vehicle at home like this.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's do some
We
winching.
need a winch. We'll put a strap around the nose, use his winch to kind of pull it down and see if it'll pull it back in place closer.
Well, here comes a rescue vehicle. You're strapping up the pumpkin.
Yeah, because I got to twist it down.
Gotcha.
Actually, it's got to go the other way. It needs to go up.
Right. Okay, strategy number 2. We're gonna put a jack under the pumpkin and jack the pumpkin up, putting everything back in alignment. Hey, Rick, here you go. Here's your jack.
There's the bottle jack, the one I was looking for.
Cash, did you find a flat rock?
There you go.
Oh, that would work good. We need another 6 inch and 8 inches.
Has anybody got another 8 inches? One bottle jack, borrowed from Cookie. One sign banger, borrowed from Corva. 2 rocks, found in the desert. Reaching your pumpkin, priceless. Man, you can do that whole thing twisted.
All right, I think we can weld it from here. I'm gonna try with this. Yeah, I'm gonna start the engine here. Neutral? Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, 70 amps.
You just attempted to weld those pieces. We got them aligned again. You tried to weld them. Did it work?
No. I've got trouble with my helmet. You can see that it's kind of bent a little bit, and the piece that's on the inside. So the helmet is too hard to try to hold on my head and weld at the same time. So it's a little frustrating right now. So I think what I'll do is put a sock hat on, so maybe I can get this helmet on. We're going to use his welder so that I don't have to listen to the exhaust leak that I developed somewhere in the last couple of days. So, and then we'll try it again, okay?
Good luck.
Oh, nothing like getting in the dirt, huh?
We don't call you the Dirty 30 for nothing, Rick.
Yeah, that's right.
Now we've got the hat fixed. We've got a wood, stone, sign, banger, jack set up.
Ask him if he has a chipping hammer. I need a chipping hammer. There's what they call slag, which which does not hold anything. It has to be chipped off if you're going to run another bead. I got to reposition myself here. Oh. That wasn't enough heat.
More heat. More heat. Now the way these welders work is, the more Cookie throttles the engine, the more heat is delivered to the welding rod.
That's the way it's supposed to do it.
How far through this job are we?
80%. Because all we're doing is trying to tack it in place so it doesn't move.
And so far, are we 80% successful?
The real test is when you get on the highway and see if it breaks. Okay, we're ready for the power.
We're ready for the power.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I didn't burn a hole. I was close though. My rod was disappearing in front of my eyes. Because it's so hot, the rod was going away too fast. Try it one more time, a little power. A little less power this time. Okay, let's try that. We'll see if it holds the weight. Oh.
Is it holding, Rick?
Yeah, that's a good start. It didn't fall on my head.
Success!
Yeah, I think we're...
Time to put away our precision lifting tools. Hand out the sign banger, the bottle jacks, and the 2 rocks.
When I get home, I'll be stopping by to buy a new helmet.
Now it's time to put that weld to the test. And it looks like he's gonna make it. Coming up next.
In 1 hour, you guys are gonna be blown away.
Right here on The Rocks.
You guys are in for a treat. This is the On the Rocks outdoor piece de resistance apple crisp. Now, like everything, and we don't have time on the trail to actually prepare everything fresh right on the spot, so we prepare it ahead of time. What I've got here is a mix of apples, 10 quarts of apples. I've got a half a cup of raisins, the Golden Delicious raisins. I've got 3/4 a cup of sugar. I've got what really sets this apart is lemon zest. I've got actually 3 tablespoons of lemon zest in this mix. Now on top of this, we're gonna put a delectable delight of just poured over the top. What I've got it mixed in here is butter that I have mixed together and blended with brown sugar. The brown sugar mixture, crumbled mixture, I've added to that some Quaker oats, some more lemon zest. This is gonna roll your shorts up and down. And then of course, everything that we do on the rocks, we have to add butter. No matter where you are in the world, everybody needs a couple more dabs of butter. We'll put it all around. Now this, cover the top. We put onto the fire to let the bottom bake. But now, because this is like an oven, not only does it bake from the bottom, but we have to make sure that we get even temperature from the top. So from the fire, we're gonna pull some coals and actually put on top of the Dutch oven. What this does is brings the heat from the top down, putting an ominous brown cover on top of the mixture of brown sugar and butter. That butter's gonna melt all over this. When the top of the Dutch oven is nice and covered, evenly dispersed over the top, so we get a nice slow simmer. In 1 hour, you guys are gonna be blown away. This is incredible. After Cookie's dinner, sitting around the campfire, we're telling stories, we're talking about the exciting things that happened today. What better way to end the day around the campfire with a nice bowl of On the Rocks apple crisp. This is awesome.
It's interesting to see how Corva worked with the Bureau of Land Management to document those trails, get them on maps, get them approved, and keep them open for us to use, you know?
You know, Rick, I've never been there before, and, you know, just cruising the trails today, and then I'm going to come back with the bikes. You know, my son, he's into bikes, and
You'll make good time with bikes running across there.
Yeah, there's some good bike roads, and it's nice to see something positive where they're actually, you know, keeping stuff open rather than closing it down. That's a very, very positive note. Very positive note.
You know, we're there midweek.
Yeah.
And there's not that many people. But on the weekends, there's so many four-wheelers or bikers, buggiers, ATCs out there. Randsburg just makes a lot of income from all those wheelers out there. I mean, that's a plus for their community. And then, you know, Corva keeping the trails open helps them out.
Yeah. That's a great little town. I like that Randsburg town.
Yeah, the living ghost town. Yeah,
It's a living ghost town.
Yeah, that's nice. There's
that sounds like the name to a song, you know?
Living ghost
a living ghost town.
I think it'd be fun to buy one of those old buildings there on Main Street.
Yeah.
Be a little project, you know, when I'm not wrenching on the Jeep or out four-wheeling, I could be...
Yeah, but Rick, you're always wrenching on the Jeep.
Yeah, you're right.
Sell antiques.
There's no end to that.
There's no end to that. It's a never-ending battle.
Well, the other day I had to go to a show and have my Jeep ready, and they said you need to be here at 6:30 to talk to the news station. Well, I was at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had my Jeep out washing it so I could take it down there.
Oh gosh.
4 o'clock. My neighbors must think we're crazy.